Okay, so today we are discussing how we can print the hello world program in using React, by using a React. So first of all, here we have a source code. Inside that we'll write a code. Okay, and this one is our entry point. So this index.js is nothing but our entry point, and these are the optional things. So just like this git ignore, and here we have a package.json, here we have a git ignore, and here we have a package.json, the setup files, and this logo.svg, and here we have a app.js. Okay, and just like this app.js, here we have a app.tst. So these are the optional things, we don't need this one, so you can delete it. Okay, you can just simply delete this one, we also don't need it, this app.test.js, so you can simply delete. Here this one app.css also we don't need, so you can simply delete it. And this is also optional thing, the logo file, this git ignore, and here we have a package log.json. This one is the important, but this readme one and this package log.json, this one is an optional, but I'm not deleting this one. This one is also optional, and these things also we don't need, this report web from vital and this setup test. Okay, you have to click here, and after that we have to delete it. So delete permanently, yes, we have to delete. After that, in this public we have a favcon icon and this index.html. so only this index.html is important, remaining thing is not important, but I am not deleting it. Okay, so here we have a index.js and index.css. so this is the css file for this index.js. okay, so in this session we'll just try to print this hello world. So just remove this entire thing. Okay, and after that, here I'm just using import react from the React. Okay, from this library I'm just taking this React. So why we are using this one? So if we want to print, so this one is nothing but, consider this is your output page. Right now it is showing error. Okay, but inside that, if you want to print any HTML element, these are nothing but the JSX. so if you want to print it, then for that we have to use this React. Using that you can print or you can render the HTML elements. Okay, and another thing, here we have to use the import React DOM. Here we have a React DOM from React DOM. That's nice. Okay, I'll tell you this one. Now I'll just simply want to print the hello world. Okay, so how we can print it? So firstly we'll need a React DOM. Okay, this is the React DOM we need. Okay, and we got it. After that you can simply use the render. So we have defined like this name, so we have to use this one only. And after that, here I'm using a render method. So basically a React DOM, it has a lot of methods. Okay, and this method is responsible to render the content to your output page, and it will manipulate your DOM. So DOM is nothing but the HTML elements. So if you want to manipulate it, then you can use simply this React DOM. Now I'll tell you. So like, consider, okay, so here we have one div. Okay, this is the div we have, and inside this div we have a h1, and inside this div we have a h2 as well, and here I have closed this div. So how it will manipulate? So first of all, we know that DOM is treated as a DOM internally work as a tree. So firstly it will take this one, and after that in the left hand side it's assigned this h1, and in the right hand side it will store this h2. So like that way it will work. So firstly it will execute this div, and inside that here we have a h1 and this h2. So it will execute this one and this one. If this h1 also, inside this h1, if we have a paragraph or something, that then it will assign to this left hand side. So like that this DOM will work. And another thing, it will render this element. These are the element it has rendered. Okay, and this rendered element we can print inside our output page. Okay, so just simply come here. Now we have to render it, and this render method it takes 3 parameters. So first one, what to show, like what we have to show, and where to show. Okay, where to show, and here we have a callback function. So right now we don't need this callback function, so I'm just simply removing. But this two is important, like what to show, that means what actually you have to return and where you have to show. Okay, so where you have to show, that means we know that this one is the entry point, this one is the entry point for our React, but whatever where we will print all the stuff will print inside this index.html, and inside this index.html we have one root file. Okay, so here we have to print it, here we have to show. Okay, so for that, how we can access this one? So for that, you can simply say comma, here we have to define what to show and where to show. So we know that where we have to show inside this root. So how we can take this root inside this index.js? So for that, we have to use this document dot get element by id, and after that here we have to mention that id name. So we are just taking this id, okay, and here we have to print, and what we have to print. So for the example, I am just creating here hello world. Okay, so this is the, see, we are saying like we know that this one is a normal HTML, but in a React we call this one is a JSX, JavaScript XML, or we can say JavaScript extension. Okay, so it's advanced concepts of the JavaScript. Okay, so here if so these are nothing but the JSX, and if you want to render this one, so for that we have to use this import React from React. Okay, that's it. Now you can just simply save the changes and come here and just try to refresh it. So still it's showing the same error. Okay, import React from React, that is nice. What it is saying? Okay, so twice we are using, so we have to remove this, all the stuff we have to remove. You can use this normal DOM, otherwise this one, it's not a issue because it's just simple and variable. Okay, save the changes, go there, and you will see this hello world. So how I am running? So basically, where is my project has stored? So this is my project. Okay, so you can just simply go inside this and just open CMD, and you just simply have to type npm start. So once you will start the npm start, you will write and hit enter. After that, indirectly this window will open, this window, and you will get the output. Okay, that's it. And otherwise you will save, you will get the output. Okay, so this is the one way to get it, but this is the latest version. In the latest version we'll write like this, but how we'll write in the previous version? Okay, so we will not write like this. So now you will see, you will get the error, compile with the problem. Why? Because this React DOM is not a define, and we are using here. Okay, so how we can use that one? So for that, you can simply use this var React, and here we need a require, and you can say like React. Okay, the first one I got it. This one, it's just simple and plain JavaScript. I am not using the concept of the import here. Okay, and after that, again here now we have to create a React DOM. Okay, this is the thing we have to create, that is React DOM. And after that, again we have to use the required, and here we have to use the React DOM. Okay, that's it. Now again you can save, you will get the output. Okay, so this is the oldest one. So what we are doing here is, nowadays we are using a import. Okay, import, and this one comes into the latest React. Okay, but this JavaScript will convert this one into this concept. Okay, so this JavaScript latest React, it will convert into an old one by using the Babel, and it will execute. So there is no need to define these things. Okay, instead of that, you can simply define import React from React, that the first one. After that, import React DOM from React DOM. This one is the main. Okay, once we have defined, and this is the first way. Okay, and if you want to define more than one elements, okay, that means now we are printing only this one element. If you want to define more than one element, so we cannot define like this. So first of all, here we have a h1. Now I'm just trying to define the h2, like hello world 2. Okay, and just try to save it. Now you will get the error. So what it is saying, like we have to, we are using a JSX. These are nothing but the JSX, and JSX says you have to bind this all the element into an one. Okay, you have to wrap into an one closing tag. Okay, so if you are using this, so for that you have to use one main tag div, and after that inside that you can define more than one element. Okay, now you can define more than one elements. So I define here, save the changes, and here we have to define the comma. Now our error has gone, and save the changes, come here. Now you will see this hello world and hello world 2, but this is very easy way. Okay, but the same thing if you want to define by using a plain JavaScript, okay, by using a plain JavaScript, then we have to define like this. So just I'm just okay, so I'm just simply removing this. Okay, and here you can just simply define var, and here I'm defining one variable, that is h1, and here I'm just creating a document dot create element. Element is nothing but the h1, h2, h3. So whatever you will mention inside this element, it will create. So here now we have created the h1 element, and we have stored inside this h1 variable. Okay, after that now I just want to print something. So for that h1, in this h1 I am just adding a inner HTML. Okay, simply I am just adding a inner HTML, and here I am just mentioning h1 heading. Okay, this is the data I have defined. Now here where we want to print, so I just simply want to print inside the root. So we have to say like document dot get element by id, and there we will mention, okay, there we will simply mention inside this root we have to print it. But we know that root is a main id, so root is a one id, and inside this id we just simply have to define, I am just appending a child. That means this h1 we have to add. See, first one, this is the h1, and inside that h1 variable we have this h1 element, and inside this h1 we are adding a inner HTML. That means inner code I am adding, that is h1 heading. And after that here we have a main div, and inside this div I am adding a child, that is h1 tag. Now you can save it, come here and refresh it. Now you will see this h1 heading. This one is our h1 heading. So this is using a plain HTML. Okay, and again the same thing you can do it here. You can simply use the react dom dot render, and here I am just mentioning react dot create element. If you want to define more than one elements, then you have to follow these things. Okay, so react dot create element, we know that this is the method, it has present inside this react. Okay, and this part is nothing but the JSX, so that's why we need this react. Okay, this is the statement we need. So here first things you have to mention the what you want to create. Okay, that means which element you want to create. So I just simply want to create a h1. Later that you have to mention the attributes, or it may be a class, or it may be a id, or it may be a some style. So you have to mention here, but I am not mentioning now anything. And after that what to show, like which message you want to print or which heading. So actual data you have to show here. So here I am just mentioning here heading. Now heading I have mentioned it, and after that here we have to mention the comma, and where we want to print this one. So document dot get element by id, and after that this is the id we have, that is root, and inside this root we have to mention it. Now you can simply save, close this one, save it, go there, and you will see this heading. Okay, but now we want to print the multiple. Okay, multiple things we have to print, like this is the div I have created, and inside this div I don't want to print this. Instead of that, again I am creating react dot react dot create element. Okay, now again I'm creating another element inside this div. Okay, so now here I'm just saying inside this div I'm creating a h1. Okay, and null, I don't want to pass anything, and here you can pass h1 element is created. Okay, now you can save it, go there, and you will see this concept. That means h1 element is created. So it's very complicated to write this all the stuff, but instead of that you can simply use this uh, react dom dot render, and after that here you can mention one div, and inside this div if you want to define h1 you can define the h1. If you want to define the h2, h3, h4 and h5, you can easily define it. Okay, and here h1 we have, h2 and h3, and here we have a h4, and here we have a h5. So these are the concepts I have defined it. And where you want to print, so I want to print inside this document dot get element by id, and here we have a root id, and inside this root id we just simply want to print it. So you can just save, automatically all this code it will print inside this root. Now save the changes, go there, and you will see the data. So that's about the today's. Thank you guys.